Next tab we're going to cover, the Readers tab on the Reader team. So basically, you're going to be able to see what your readers have done, whether or not they have been approved or are they auto-approved. We'll talk about this in just a second, whether they've been declined or if they've left the team and so on. You'll also be able to check out what they have written for any of their reviews. You'll see this says review awaiting your verification, things of that nature. And you'll have a bunch of other things in here, just little statistics and so on and so forth. Readers who are waiting approval, maybe you just want a massive approval of all of them just to get it over with, and you just click one button, that'll show up here. Right now, none of our readers are not approved, so it's not showing it here, but here's an idea to show you what I mean. It says click to verify all reviews. So if you had a bunch of reviews in here, some folks just say, you know what, I know all these people. I know they did what they were supposed to do. They've been with me for 6 books now. They always do what they're supposed to do. And then you can just click it here as opposed to having to go individually into each one of the review tabs to do that. You can also send an email to folks who are on the team, assuming, back on the details page, that you said require reader's email address. If you didn't do that, you won't be able to send a mass email to everybody else. And it does blind carbon copy, meaning that they won't see each other's email addresses, they'll only see yours. Okay? So if we look at our readers, we only have one, obviously, as our test reader here, but you have different options for this person. So you can just, if you set them back to awaiting approval, then, you know, this is what you would see when they actually requested or applied for your reader team, right? So when they requested access. What you would do here is, this is what you would see. You would say, oh, I've worked with this person before. I know that they're good. I'll go ahead and approve them. Or you could say, I'm going to auto-approve them. What does that mean? That means that every book going forward, if they apply to it, they'll instantly be approved to join the team. So if you have somebody who's, you know, a very good participant in what you're doing, that's the kind of thing you want to do. It saves you some headache, and it also gives them a little bit of a perk. Makes them feel like, hey, every time I approve, I'm instantly in and I'm ready to go. I don't have to wait for the author. You can decline them. So maybe you had more than you needed for this particular group, or maybe you just don't think this particular reader is going to be good for this book. Maybe you're trying a different series, and you know, maybe they're into the one series heavily but not into the other series that you're working on, so maybe you decline for that, whatever reason you have. If you ban a person, that means that anytime they have a link for application for you, it's going to say you know, the team is closed basically for them, and they may reach out to you directly. We can't control that, obviously, but it's not going to put them into a state of awaiting approval. It will automatically ban them, so they won't even be able to apply for this team. And then, of course, reader left the team. Maybe they contacted you and said, hey, you know, work's just been too crazy, or I've been sick, you know, various things it could be. And so you want to go ahead and mark that they have left the team. Now, as you may recall back here on the details page, we said it's a great idea to set reader teams as inactive if it's gone after a particular amount of time. Well, that's because if we come back to the reader side and we come over here, well, right now it's showing the reader has withdrawn application. They can withdraw it. This is actually a good point. So right here, you'll notice it's awaiting approval. So since it's in awaiting approval, this is what they're going to see, waiting for the author, right? So they can withdraw their application if they want to. They decide, you know what, I thought about it and I just don't have time. And maybe you've, you know, taken a couple of days to get back to it and so on. But let's go back here and set this to approved again. So now they're approved. All right. And then we're going to click home. And now if they have a lot of these books all over their page because you haven't been removing the team or making teams inactive, they have the option to leave the team themselves. And if they leave the team themselves, it's going to mark them as having left the team. And you might not want that, because you might go, why do they keep leaving the team? Are they just jumping in and taking the book and then not, you know, doing what they're supposed to do? And it could look bad from their side, even though they've done all the work, but since you haven't been keeping up on, you know, archiving these teams, they just don't want to see, you know, 15 different books on their screen that are no longer active. So that's why we recommend that you highly recommend that you go in there and set the teams to inactive when you're done with them. However, that said, if we click on this view reader, what you're also going to see is what have they typed in for the review, and what sites did they post it on, and so on, assuming they filled this in, right? Also, you can set their status up here if you'd like. And then you can go, and you can also put notes about this person, by the way. You can say things along the lines of, you know, oh, they're fantastic at sharing. They always share my stuff, you know, whatever. Anything that you want that's going to help you make a determination to allow them on the team the next time or not. You can also see a history. So if they've done 6 or 7 books with you, you can say, how many answers have they given to my questions? How many issues have they reported for each one of the books? Did they review? What was their review? What other notes do I have about them regarding this particular book? Okay. So in this instance, we're going to say, yes, we saw the verified purchase tag, and we also see that they have reviewed. So we click update this reader, and it says, you have verified this review. So you don't have to worry about that anymore, going, oh, do I have to read this one to see what they wrote, and so on. But let's just say you jump back to the reader. Now you're going to see this is in green saying verified purchase review, and you have verified the review. So if you have 6, 7 books in here and you verified each one of them, you're going to know, okay, and this person, gives you issue reports to answer your questions. You're going to know, hey, this is somebody that I definitely want to keep going forward on my team on all the books that I do. So that's the Readers tab.